think of Hollywood icons, there's certain images, aren't there, that everybody simply knows. Whether it be the pose from Charlie's Angels when you see that picture, or indeed Marilyn Monroe in the famous white dress. Perhaps it's Sir Noel Coward, the dressing gown, the cigarette holder, the slick back hair. This image, though, really is one that everybody knows. The Little Tramp, created by Charlie Chaplin, originally over here in London, not too far away, in fact, down the road in Lambeth, where still some of his relatives live. And I don't know if you know this, but the Little Tramp, Charlie Chaplin, was a huge, huge favourite of the British monarchy, including the late Princess Elizabeth, or our beautiful Queen, and indeed Princess Margaret. They used to like the reruns of the silent films out in Windsor. Apparently the Queen Mother was a fan too. Now, Charlie Chaplin really did become an international icon around the world. Yes, he fell out of favour. Yes, he had some negative PR. But there's no two ways about it. He created a character that many people embodied in certain sort of aspects further down the line. If you think about it, the brilliant comedian Norman Wisdom really had a twist on the Little Tramp, didn't he? Because his character obviously was in sound, but he was a little bit more acrobatic. And over here, another great character, like Mr. Pastry, was also an acrobat and took a lot of direction from the brilliant Chaplin. I was lucky enough to interview the very beautiful Claire Bloom, who co-starred with Chaplin, and she told me so much about him. So it's fascinating to know that his, shall we say, last few days are now apparently going to be turned into a TV drama, because way back in 1977, sadly, he passed away. And that was on Christmas Day. And everybody really was kind of stunned because he was such an icon. This was in the days of pre-social media. But did you know that he went missing, literally, because gravediggers dug up his body and he went missing for around about 11 weeks. It's a bit of a grim story, this, but apparently they did try and extort money out of the Chaplin family. They refused, and then the body was returned and once again put back into its rightful place. Now, we often say here on the show, don't we, is it a good time or not to actually look at that particular story? I think what will be fascinating is the backstory of how Charlie Chaplin basically made himself an international icon, starting out as a musical star with no great backing of money or anything, and turning himself into a worldwide superstar, a multimillionaire, leaving a legacy that even today so many people remember, even if they haven't seen a Charlie Chaplin film. As I say, it's a rather grim end to a spectacular life and career. And seemingly, people find that this particular element of his life, why did these grave robbers do it? What was the background to it? And more importantly, why did Charlie Chaplin decide in the end to be buried over in Switzerland? Was it all to do with money? Could he have been buried here? It's a fascinating insight to a very complex, and as Claire Bloom told me, rather difficult man, but nonetheless a genius. As ever, I'd love to know what you think to this particular story. Do you have fond memories of Chaplin? Do you still find it funny watching the old silent films? Or is it simply a thing of the past? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.